Hello everyone, welcome to the video lecture series on microprocessor and peripheral interface. In this video lecture, we are going to study the different components required for 8086 configurations. Means for minimum mode configuration and maximum mode configuration, the different components required that we are going to study in this video lecture. So, as we know, 8086 can work in two different modes. So that modes are minimum mode and second one is maximum mode. Now what do you mean by minimum mode? So in this minimum mode, 8086 is the only processor in the system. So 8086 is only processor, and this is also called as a uniprocessor mode. While in maximum mode, the multiple processors can be present in the system. So these are the two modes in which 8086 can work, that is minimum mode and maximum mode. So there are some common components for this modes. First component is 8282, that is octal latch. Second component required for these modes is nothing but 8284, it is clock generator and driver. Third component required is 8286, it is nothing but octal bus trans receiver. And fourth component required is 8288, it is the bus controller. So these are the components required for 8086 configuration for minimum mode and maximum mode. So now we are going to discuss these components in this video lecture. So first component we will discuss, that is 8284 clock generator and driver. So first of all we will see features of this 8284. So this 8284 generates 3 signals for our microprocessor. That signals are clock, ready and reset. It operates on plus 5 volt supply, available in 18 pin package, and it also provides synchronization between local ready and microprocessor ready. So these are few features of 8284 clock generator. Now this 8284, it is available in 18 pin package as we have seen here, but we are not going to use all the pins for interfacing with 8086. So here we are only discussing that pins only which we are going to use or interface with our 8086. So pin number 8, this is clock pin of 8284. This is used in 8086. So this pin number 8, it is the output pin of this 8284. So processor clock signal available on this pin. So this pin means this clock, it is connected to clock input of 8086, means this clock pin number 8 of 8284 is connected with the clock input of 8086, and here on this pin we are having the clock signal available. So this clock signal is not only used by 8086 but all the devices which are connected directly to the processor bus are going to use this clock signal. So this clock signal is used by all devices. The clock signal available by this 8284, the duty cycle is 33.3%. That means the on period is 1/3 of the total period of the clock signal. So this is pin number 8, and the clock signal we are getting on this pin number 8 is connected with the clock input of 8086, which is having 33.3% of duty cycle. Next pin is pin number 11. This pin number 11 is RES bar. This is nothing but reset input pin. This is the input pin of this IC. This pin, or on this pin, the reset signal for processor is generated. So generating reset signal for processor, and this pin is active low. So pin number 11 is reset input, and this reset input generates the reset signal for the processor. It is active low pin. Next is pin number 5. This is ready pin. This is active high output signal, means active high output signal we are getting on this pin number 5. It is connected to ready input of 8086. In 8086 we are having the pin ready. To that ready pin, the ready pin of clock generator is connected. This is synchronized with two ready input signals, that are ready 1 and ready 2 of 8284. This is pin number 5. Next pin is ready 1 and ready 2. So the input signals available from the external devices on pin number 4 and 6 respectively. That means this pin number 1, not pin number 1 but the ready 1 pin, it is the pin number 4 of 8284, and ready 2, it is the pin number 6 of 8284. And this ready 1 and ready 2, these are the input signals which are available from the external devices on this pin number 4 and pin number 6 respectively. So these are the pins which are used in connection of 8284 with 8086. Now we'll see how the connection is made between 8284 and 8086. Means the configuration of 8284 with 8086. Here we are having our 8086. Here let's consider we are having 8284. So as we have discussed that three signals are generated by 8284, that are clock, reset and ready. So the clock signal available on 8284 is connected with the clock input CLK of 8086. Similarly, reset and ready, these are the signals available on 8284. So reset signal of 8284 is connected with reset signal of 8086 and ready is connected with ready signal of 8086. So this much is the connection. Here we are having RES bar, here ready 1, ready 2, then AEN 1 bar, AEN 2 bar. So these are the other pins of 8284. Here F/C bar, this pin is grounded. Between X1 and X2 here crystal is connected. And RES to this RES here so this is the configuration of 82 or interfacing of 8284 with 8086. This is how we can interface 8284 clock generator with 8086. The next component is 8282 or 8283. It is an octal latch. Now why we have to use this octal latch, that we'll see. So before that we'll discuss the few important points which already we have discussed during the architecture of 8086. So in 8086 we know that address and data bus, it is multiplexed, that means AD0 to AD15, these are the multiplexed address and data lines. The same lines are used to carry the address information as well as data information on time sharing basis, and that's why we need to demultiplex this address and data lines. The four address lines A16 to A19, these are also multiplexed with the status signals S3 to S6. Also the bus high enable is multiplexed with S7, so it need to be demultiplexed. And the 8086, in this 8086 first output means 8086 first of all give the address on this multiplexed data bus. That address is 20-bit address. So 20-bit address is released on this AD0 to AD15 and AD16 to AD19 address bus, and the presence of address on the multiplexed bus is indicated by this ALE. Okay, so when the ALE signal is high, here we can observe this is the clock signal. This is AD0 to AD16 lines are there. First of all, the address is released on this multiplexed data bus, and the presence of address is indicated by making ALE to 1. So at this point what happens, when the address is available, ALE is made 1. So when ALE is equal to 1, it indicates that the presence of address on the multiplexed bus. So here at this point the address is latched into the external latches, means when the ALE signal becomes 1, at that time, means at this location, address gets latched in external latch. Okay, and after that what happens, before the address gets disappear from this multiplex bus, the ALE signal is made low, means ALE is made 0. So when ALE is 0, it indicates that the address will disappear from the multiplexed bus. Okay, so before disappearing of this address from multiplexed bus, ALE is made 0, and at this location the external latches are disabled. So from this point to this point, the address is available on this multiplexed data bus, and after that the same bus is used to carry the data. So this is the role of ALE in multiplexed address and data bus, and by this way here the same bus is used to carry address as well as data. Now here what happens, the address, here we have seen that address is latched into the external latch, and there are two popular external latch, one is 8282 and another is 8283. So this 8282, it is non-inverting octal latch, and 8283, it is the inverting octal latch. It is inverting octal latch, and this one is non-inverting octal latch, and these latches are used in 8086 for latching the address. So as we have seen, 8282 and 8283, these are 8-bit bipolar latches with tri-state output buffers. So here what happens, these are available in 20 pins DIP package. So the pins will see in short DI0 to DI7. These are the 8 input pins. Okay, these are connected to multiplexed bus. These are connected to multiplexed bus. Next pins are DO0 to DO7. So these are the 8 output pins of this IC. These produce the latched address. After that, the next pin is important pin is STB, that is nothing but strobe input. This strobe input, what happens, when this strobe input pin is equal to 1, then input is latched, and when means strobe is 1, input is latched, and this strobe, this STB is connected to ALE pin. After that, next pin is OE. This is active low. It is output pin, and it is called as enable output, enable input. So when this OE bar is equal to 0, then the outputs are enabled. Output are enabled, and when OE bar is equal to 1, at that time output is in tri-state. So these are the pin definitions for 8282 as well as 8283. Now we'll see the interfacing of 8282 latch with 8086. So here we are having our 8086. Then we need 3 octal latches. So this is one, this is second latch, and this one is third latch. So ALE signal of this 8086, that ALE signal is connected to STB pin, that is strobe pin of latch. Then the bus AD0 to AD15, AD0 to AD15, it is connected to this latch as well as to this latch. Okay, so multiplexed address and data bus is connected AD0 to AD15, 8 pins to this and remaining 8 pins to this, and remaining address pins, that is A16 to A19, that is S3 and S3 to S6, these are connected to this octal latch. So here we'll get latched address from A0 to A7. With the help of this, we'll get the latched address from A8 to A15, and the remaining address, that is A16 to A19, is given by this octal latch. This is octal latch. I will write down only latch. So by this way, here we'll get 20-bit address. So by this way we can demultiplex the address from this multiplexed address and data bus. Now next component is 8286 octal bus transceiver. So this 8286 is a octal bus transceiver which is used for driving the 16-bit data bus from the multiplexed address data bus of 8086 processor. Now the important pins of 8286, that are A0 to A7, this is called as local bus data. Then B0 to B7, it is called as system bus data. OE bar, it is called as output enable. And T, it is nothing but the transmit. So A0 to A7 local bus data. So these 8 lines are called as local bus lines or data lines, and they can act as input lines or as output lines depending on status of transmit pin. Means depending on this T pin, these are acting as either input or output lines. Okay, so if T is equal to 1, then this A0 to A7, it will act as inputs, and if T is equal to 0, this A0 to A7, it will act as output lines. Similarly, this B0 to B7, it is called as a system bus data pins or data lines. They are also depending on the status of this transmit. If this T is equal to 1, then the B0 to B7, it will act as output. So when T is equal to 1, this B0 to B7, it will act as output lines, and if T is equal to 0, at that time this B0 to B7, it will act as input lines, and next is output enable. So this is an active low, so this bar indicates it is active low input of 8286. It is used for enabling the appropriate driver to put the data on the respective bus. Means to enable the driver, this output enable line is used. So if OE bar is equal to 1, that is inactive, then the outputs will be in the high impedance or in the tri-state. Okay, and the last is transmit. So pin number 11 of 8286 is transmit pin, and as we have seen, based on the status of this transmit pins, these two groups of lines are either acting as input or outputs. Now we will see the interfacing of 8286 with 8086. This is our 8086. And here it is 8286. So this AD0 to AD15 pins of microprocessor are connected with this 8286. So here to A0 to A7 pins of 8286, these are connected. One more 8286 is required, and to that 8286 again to A0 to A7 the next pins are connected. Means here AD0 to AD7 are connected, and here AD8 to AD15 are connected, and on this B0 to B7 to B7 pins will get the output in terms of data. So it is D0 to D7 and D8 to D15. By this way 16 bit data bus we are getting with the help of 8286 octal bus transceiver. Okay, similarly here two more pins are there, T and OE bar, T and OE bar. So that OE bar is connected to DEN bar pin, and the data transmit receive pin DT oblique R bar pin of microprocessor is connected with this transmit pin. So by this way we are going to interface this bus transceiver with 8086. Now the next component, this is nothing but bus controller. So this bus controller we required in maximum mode configuration. This 8288, it is available in 20 pin IC. This accepts the clock signal along with the status pins, that is S0 bar, S1 bar and S2 bar output of 8086, and with the help of this status signals it generates the command, control and timing signal at its output. Now we'll see what type of command, control and timing signals are generated based on this S0, S1 and S2 bar. So this is the status of CPU varying from 000 to 111, the status word for 8086 and 8288 command. So when the S0 to S2 pins are 0, it is interrupt acknowledge, and 8288 command is INTA bar. When it is 001, it is read IO port, and for this read IO port, IORC bar is generated. So with the help of this IORC bar command, input output read command is generated. So this IORC, it is nothing but input output read command. So for 010, it is the write IO port status word for 8086, and with respect to that 8288, it generates IOWC bar as well as AIOWC bar. So this is input output write command and advanced input output write command. So 011 is halt, and here no any command is generated. Then for 100, it is code access, and 8288, it generates memory read command, that is MRDC bar. It is memory read command. For 101, it is read memory. So for that again MRDC bar, that is memory read command, is generated. For 110, write memory is the status word, and for that MWTC bar or AMWTC bar command is generated, that is memory write command or advanced memory write command. And 111, it is a passive, so again no any command will be generated for this. So by this way, with the help of this status of CPU, the 8288 generates the commands for input output read, input output write, memory read as well as memory write. Now the interfacing. So 8286, it receives the clock signal through clock generator. The same clock signal is also provided to 8288. Now 8086, the three status signals S0 bar, S1 bar and S2 bar are there, that are connected to S0 bar, S2 bar and S3 bar of 8288. Okay, so these are connected, and based on this, here memory read command, similarly memory write command, sorry WRC, then advanced memory write command, all are active low. IO read command, IO write command, then advanced IO write command, and INTA bar is generated. So these are the signals which are generated, and we have seen how these are generated by using this status pins. Here this 8288, ALE, then data transmit oblique receive bar, and DEN, DEN, these are connected to, these pins are connected to 8282 and 8288. So this is the interfacing of it is not 8288, it is 8286. So it is the interfacing of 8288 and 8086. So here in this video lecture, we have seen the different components required for minimum mode as well as maximum mode configuration of 8086 processor. Thank you for watching the video.